Yeah, hey everybody. I just wanted to go through how to set up Claude Code on Databricks Apps very quickly, end to end. And yeah, let's get started here. So if you go to this repo here, Claude Code CLI Bricks, in my username, you will see this repository. You can copy this. And once again, it bundles the following things together. You get the Claude Code CLI pre-configured with your host models on Databricks. It's going to use the API endpoint. And you can switch between different Claude models via the app.yaml. So, and it also gets the micro editor here. Micro, if you don't know, it's a really simple to use editor from the command line. If you need to look at files, that's very, very simple. But it should also, this usually only wins access to one user. And the app tries to check if the person that is accessing the app itself is the person that deploy the app. So this way we can make sure that there is isolated dev boxes for individuals and sessions are not mixed between users. But that being said, a single user can have multiple sessions, right? It also ships with this DeepWiki MCP server and XI MCP server. Why is DeepWiki MCP server useful? You can ask questions of, let's say, a particular GitHub repo of how to do these things, allows you to inject context into Claude conditionally and dynamically if you're trying to do back and forth with it. If you use any kind of web search stuff that you need, you can use Exa. There is free version and the paid version. Exa free tier is, I find, to be plenty for almost all use cases. It also ships Databricks AI skills prepackaged and superpowers prepackaged as well. Their skills may potentially be, there might be new skills that you might want to install. I'll try to keep this in sync with this. The whole idea is I want to reduce the number of install steps for people to get started. And that was the whole intention here. But once you install it, you can also have Claude install additional skills from the dev kit. It's very, very simple for this to set up. So let's go do this, right? So let's copy this URL, go to our workspace. Let's call this the workspace here. Create a Git folder. I'm going to pop this folder here. I'm going to call this Claude Code My App, something like this. I'll create a Git folder. It should then clone everything to my folder here. And in there, you have two things, the template for the app.yaml, but I also put my app.yaml there. It's okay, because there's no real secret there. You only see the Databricks host. Go change this Databricks host to your host that you're on. The host is everything before this .com, so just pop that right in there. And then don't change any of the other things. The model here that you want to use, I'd say Opus 4.6 is also available, so I'm going to say Opus 4.6, right? This is like the most capable model. Use that. And then wherever it says value from, that is Databricks app speak for the fact that this is going to be looking at the secrets, and secrets need to map to a particular key. It's going to look for this key. So what you need to do is you need to ensure that there is a secret scope with this particular key. So I go to iterm. I'll quickly show you how this looks like. So if I looked at, it's fine. These are all tokens that I don't have anymore, so I can kind of show you this. It's okay. If you look at this guy right here, these two things, I mean, what you would do is, hey, put secret into a scope, and then the secret name and the secret value. And if you're wondering how to mint the secret, it's very simple. You come down here, you select settings, you select developer, you manage, and you get a token. And you can say whatever, like, test token. And that should give you the token. Copy that token. And you can, if I'm being lazy, I can pass it as a value directly. I don't want to do that. But what you want to do is you want to use the secrets API to put it there. But for demonstration purposes, I'm going to remove this guy. Actually, no, it's fine. I don't want to paste in tokens and text and propagate through this as a video to YouTube or something like that. It's just not worth it. Okay, so I have this app.yaml file. I'll close this out and I come back to my workspace, and this folder, this is what we get cloned. And this has everything that we need. So now we can go to compute. You can go to apps. You can say create an app. You can say, hey, create a custom app. You want to say next. I'm going to configure this. I'm going to add a secret. My scope. My secret can be my Databricks token. Remember, this has to match, right? This is what the app.yaml file is looking for. This is the resource key. I don't know, maybe I'll use like the bigger version. I'll create the app. and it should start the compute for me. And once the compute's done, and by the way, notice this, it's trying to, if you try to deploy, it's going to try to deploy from this workspace, but that's not what we want. We'll just wait for a little bit for the computer to start, and we can go deploy from that other location that we cloned it to. Okay, so it's going to start in a bit. All of this can be done directly from the CLI. So for example, if you're here, you can go Databricks Apps deploy. You can do that, right? Deploy to a profile, deploy to the name of the app and the source code. You can do all of that stuff, right? Directly from the CLI as well. Just want to try and make this simple. I'm going to let you do this and maybe even follow along. So it's going to try and start the compute. We're going to give it some time while the compute's up and goes up. Yeah, I'm going to take a pause here. I'll pick this up after the compute goes up. Okay. All right. Okay, the app's now up. We still haven't deployed it. It's just the compute's up. I should have said the compute's up, not the app's up. So compute's up and active. What we're going to do is we're going to try and deploy, but it's going to say, hey, give me the source code path. I'm going to go back to where we landed the Git repo in and copy the full path here, and then place the path right there, and then deploy that, right? You could also go from here, click on this, and it'll do the exact same thing, and I'm going to say deploy. So now it should then start the deployment, and in just a second here, we can look that the deployment is going to start. So it's going to try and deploy. I just started this, 17 seconds ago. And because when we set up, we already set up the fact that it can actually read the token, it should come through perfectly fine, right? It's going to deploy. The deploying source code started. All right, so awesome. It took about 26 seconds, and it deployed the app. So if you click on this app, why not? CP is configured. Yeah, there you go. So it just takes a second. I think I got like a little bit tricked there. Okay, so as you can see, I'm not editing anything at all here. So now in here, the projects folder, I can create a directory. I can say mkdir my sample app, whatever, cd into that sample app, and then I can start Claude here. Actually, I don't want that. What I want is Claude. It's just for demonstration purposes. Doesn't really hurt, so it's fine. So notice that I've already hooked it up to the Opus 4.6. This is because in our app.yaml, we had changed this to 4.6. This is what you want. You want the best thinking model, and you want the high effort, right? You don't want a minimum effort. You want this guy. That's for complex reasoning. And then we can see, show me all skills you have access to, right? Say something like that. And it should pull up all the skills that it's got access to. So the first way to improve the quality of the model itself is to, improve the quality of the outcomes the model generates, is to improve which model it has access to. Maybe point to a different model. And it's got like all these skills, direct skills, it's got like all these things, right? So if you are struggling to figure out like, hey, I have an idea for an app, but I just don't know what to do or how to go about doing it, my recommendation would be to start off with brainstorming. Maybe I'll do some simple activity here where I'd say, hey, help me brainstorm this idea. I need to be able to provision a brand new SQL database, serverless SQL database on Databricks warehouse. And then I need to use that to query a table. I write something like this. It's a very dumb example, but I just want to help you see how this thing works, right? So now it is going to be like, hey, okay, let me look at like what this looks like. I get this user. I'm going to try and understand the requirements here. And it's asking me, hey, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to provision the server SQL warehouse and query a table? It's a solid workflow to automate. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to build like a one-off script? Just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to say, okay, yeah, that's fine. Go ahead, do it. Right? I just need like a single one-off script that you can create. The next question is, after you create the warehouse and run the query, what should the script do? Should it clean? I should say something like, oh, it is supposed to be the serverless warehouse, which means it should shut off after a while. So don't bother. I say something like this. And so the whole point here that I'm trying to demonstrate is you might have a vague idea of something that you want to execute, but by engaging in this kind of Socratic Q&A, the app's now the skill in this case is trying to make sure that your thinking is holistic, and it'll write out a design doc, which you can then use to plan, and which you can then use for execution as well. Is there a specific table that you have, or should I use any of the sample tables? Yeah, I don't know, like maybe use a sample table. Do I have access to a sample table? So I can go here and I can go see what tables do I have access to, right? So I'll go to this guy, Cal Explorer, other samples. Let me go back to the catalog, click, open, samples. Do I have, yeah, the NYC taxi thing is here in the samples, right? So let's use that. Any sample demo data, like I use samples.nyc taxi.trips. Of course, for many customers, they've already seen me do this, like generate end-to-end applications that then get deployed into Databricks. These are like front-end apps, back-end apps that are hooked into a Databricks resource. What do you want to use? Do you want to use the Databricks? Yeah, I'm going to use the SQL connector. I don't care. Honestly, it's recommending me option 1, so I'm going to go with option 1, right? So here's the one thing where using something like this is very helpful. It's going to then creates the SQL warehouse, waits for the warehouse to be running, executes the query, and then prints the results. Actually, why don't you set up a default case where it's querying for a particular thing, and then if I just run the script, it should do that for me. So this way I don't have to come up with like the query at all, and instead it's just like having to demonstrate to you that this is what it's going to do. What should the query do? Yeah, okay, so trip stats seems good, right? So that's fine, let's do that. So far, I don't even know entirely what columns exist in this table and everything else. Like maybe something is, this thing is like trips, sample data. Yeah, it's got all these things. It doesn't have any metadata just yet, and that's okay. I think it's somewhat well-known data set. But usually when you do this, ensure that you come here and you're able to, add additional metadata to it. Like, not this guy here, but to any of your other data sets. For example, in this case, I have a table, and the table has a description and a commentary. This kind of agentic engineering stuff is all about making sure, are you providing the right context? If you don't provide the right context and you expect magic to happen, it's going to happen, right? You want to make sure that that works. And yeah, I don't know, like this, like I'm just going to say yes. Not even going to read anything. This is the whole point here is just to demo things, and it's going to go write this off to the docs folder here. And after this is done, a few things are going to happen. I'll just wait for it. Yeah, always make sure that you instantiate a repo, commit to the repo before you start the next step. So let's see what it's going to do. It initializes the repo, it commits to the repo. A few interesting things happen in the commit. And if I expand this guy, right, it did the commit. And it's going to try and create the warehouse. It's doing some extra search around like, hey, how do I do certain things? Databricks SDK, Python statement execution. It's trying to read up on those things. It's consuming some tokens. It hit this link. Maybe we should open this link up. And it's looking at this guy. So statement execution is reading up all that stuff. And it's committing. Yeah, sure. I'm going to run this and see what it does, right? So it's running something. Show. Then install some stuff here. It's saying, hey, I don't have this guy. I'm going to go install it. Yeah, it's going to course correct automatically based on what it sees. This one I think has Python 3 in the path, and that's what's going to do. So SDK is available already. It's going to run that. It's creating the serverless warehouse, the SQL warehouse, it says. Let's go back here. Let's go to compute. And let's go spin this guy up. Oh, is this one? Yes, it already created it. Created it, queried it, and everything seems like, yeah, exactly. So it created that my serverless warehouse is running. It'll stop at 10 minutes of idle time. The script is already committed and ready to use, and it's right here, right? This is done. And now what I want to show you is if you go to the workspace, if you go to my projects, if you go to my sample app, this is exactly what it created, correct? And so the magic here is anytime it commits something, it actually syncs that back to your warehouse. I mean, so back to your workspace. I'm a little tired from travel yesterday, but back to your workspace. So this guy is what it created, right? And you could have done all this directly from the agent mode here, but I wanted to show you, like, doing the same thing with Claude Code is actually simple as well, right? You could be shooting for something grander. Maybe you want to do like a full-on application, and you can do that as well. And let it rip. The main thing is it'll make mistakes. It'll like fix itself up. It'll go back and forth until it just figures out how it needs to work through the difficulties. And if you give it some directions along the way that can short circuit the path to the final step, help it. But few things that it's important to realize is provide context for the tables, provide context for the metadata in the table and the columns on the table and things of that nature, and make sure that you specify the prompts properly, right? If you have a few tables that are already curated, point to the schemas and the corresponding tables. If you have some vector search indexes that you already have inside of a vector search endpoint, point to the endpoint and give some context as to how you need to use it, right? It's all about context. Give it that, and you can quickly get through this very, very fast, right? Again, this is like all one shot. I didn't edit any of this. I just wanted to share this with you so that everybody can get started and work with this. Nice tool. Thanks.